So here we are in the driver's seat. We'll just show you the process of how we start the van. The van itself, its transmission is, if you look here, a little bit different to what you may have seen before. The van itself is an automatic, however it does have a clutch. It changes gears hydraulically, and the controller as a result kind of doesn't look like either. So we'll just run through the process. Very simple. So the way we would start the van, we make sure that our foot is on the brake, just like any modern vehicle, and we need to have the handbrake on. Once we've done that, we'll simply just start the van. And it should start nice and normally. I'm just going to come in a little bit, and if you look at our little display there, in that bottom right hand side we see Auto N. So this is standing for automatic and N for neutral. The van started in its neutral mode. We simply need to select our gear. So all I'm going to do, just on my little handle over here, is just make sure I'm in gear, which I am. All I'm going to do is just bring this down one, and it's now going to show me my gear. So you see there it's saying Auto 1. Now it's an auto. I'll drive normally, it'll change gears, you'll feel it change just like an auto. And that's it, just drive normally. Now we have the ability, if I come back and look at the gear stick itself, I can override these settings, so I can actually downshift or move up through gears manually. And again, if I look here, I'm currently in first gear. I may want to take off in second gear if I'm on, say, wet grass or something like that. I can also, over here, if I tap this unit to the side, I'll see it now remove the word auto, and it's in now a manual mode. I'll need to manually use the gear selector to select my gear. I'm going to tap it both to that left hand side again, and that will come back to auto, and there we go. To engage reverse, we bring it over and then down as per the little diagram on the front of it. At the very top is also neutral. If I have the engine on for an extended period of time, I would probably want to leave this in the neutral mode, just so it's not working on the clutch. But generally our day-to-day driving, we would have this just on Auto 1, and it will drive from there. So all nice and simple. Now when it comes to stopping, again, if you look here, there is no park. So we stop the car pretty much like we would stop a manual. So we would simply leave it in gear, whether that's first or reverse. We'd place our handbrake on and then simply stop. Very, very, very simple sort of process to do. So we'll just come over here and look at the entertainment system. So all very simple. So we have a radio button here. I have a nav button, so if I click on this, we'll just have everyday TomTom, and we can do our normal sort of movements from there. If I come over to my phone button, I can then, I'm currently set up on my phone, I can, under the settings tab, add in an additional phone. Once I've got that, the media function will work, and also all the controls here will work as well. So running through some of the other elements, looking just further down here, we have our selectors here for our fan and air conditioning modes, and over here where we're pumping things out. A bit further down here, generally speaking, well, we have our emergency hazard light there. Generally we would leave these other lights as they are, and we all should be fairly fine. Being a European car, the indicator is on the opposite side. Further down we also have a speed limiter. Now we're just going to show you how we put fuel in the van. So I'm just turning it off. Again, we have it in gear and parked. Just coming out around to the passenger side. And then down to here. So again, just regular everyday diesel. Doesn't need to be anything special. If you see things like AdBlue or things like that, that's not what we need. Just everyday diesel. So we need the key to unlock it. And when you fill it, make sure again that we use the key to lock it. Give it a little twist and a bit of a pull just to make sure that you have locked it properly. If not, if it's not sealed, it may pop out and then you'll get a large chunk of diesel popping down. Now, last thing we have just here, we have the bonnet release. Final thing to really talk about is, well, the van itself. So we are 3.5 meters tall. What does that mean? It means there's a real chunk above your head. When you drive, that usually is not an issue. The issue is normally what I often say, the first minute and the last minute. What I mean by that is trees, and it's usually when you're pulling into somewhere that you have the problem. So typically if you have someone in the passenger seat, good idea to have them on tree watch out and keep an eye above their head, because that's really the spot where we'll run into issues.